It is time, once again, to lock your doors, shut your windows, strap yourself into your favorite comfy chair, and tune out and tune into The Naked Zombie.
G'day, and you're listening to the best in paranormal pop culture and everything in between. I'm your host, Brad Scott, and you are listening to The Naked Zombie. Tonight on the show, I am very pleased to announce Historical Haunts of Brisbane. I have Jason Walker on the line. Now, we're going to go a little bit in depth here because this man is a wealth of knowledge. He's a walking encyclopedia of coolness. And please, welcome to The Naked Zombie for the very first time, Jason Walker. G'day, Jason. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Oh, mate, look, I'm struggling. No, I'm not. I'm getting there slowly. Listen, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. I've been looking forward to this interview for some time. Now, our mutual friend Liam hooked this up, didn't he?
He certainly did.
He's a wealth of knowledge too, so he used to get on like a house on fire.
Yeah, we do. We communicate quite a fair bit, actually.
No, he's a man. He knows all, and so do you. Now, look, I'm really fascinated about what you guys do. I'm really stoked. Now, before we get too far into it, let's just give it all a big breakdown. Let's go right from the start, and let's work out exactly. So the people who don't know you as yet, and I'm sure you have a lot of people who do know you, people who don't know you yet actually get to, they can check you out, jump on your Facebook site, all the rest of it, get to know you. So you want to give us a bit of a breakdown exactly what Historical Haunts Australia does?
Yes, well, Historical Haunts Australia, we basically formed it, myself and Lisa Alciati. We began our paranormal interest together with a group based in Melbourne, and we basically weren't going in the right direction that we wanted with GRI at that particular time. Ghost Research International was the group that we were with, so we decided to go out on our own sort of venture to not only touch on the paranormal, but also to touch on history as well, the history and the paranormal just go together like,
Well, they do. It goes together like apples and custard, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It's just something that does blend together well, and that's the one thing we've always been a huge fans of, especially on the zombie here, is we love our history. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to. You cannot do anything without the research, can you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you've got to have your facts right. I mean, with so many groups out there these days and so much competition, and you've got to have your facts straight, otherwise you're just going to get torn to pieces. So we basically pride ourselves on trying to get our facts absolutely correct, but also approaching places that normally don't get so much access, or are not known as much, because out there you've got a lot of groups that you've got a lot of sites that don't get access to government funding and have very little means of collecting funding. Well, with HHA, Historical Haunts Australia,
yep,
we want to bring awareness to these people and help get them funding through tourism ventures to achieve their goals, so they can achieve their goals to restore these sites, keep these sites, so that future generations can have access to them. That's very important. I mean, there's nothing more important than securing our future, or our past, for our future generations.
Oh, look, mate, there is no two ways about it when it comes to that side of it, is there?
No,
you have,
no.
But this also goes twofold in the sense where, because sometimes the information you're getting isn't 100%. Yeah, I mean, from different areas and stuff like that, and there are a lot of fantastic tour groups out there, but there are some, mate, and I'm not going to pull any punches on this. It's just all friggin' theatrics.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no history to it whatsoever because nothing is actually researched. Now, how do you tell the difference as a punter, like say a punter like myself, and I go a lot of these events and stuff, and I really enjoy them. But there's been a couple of my years I've done, I've just gone, oh my God, this is rubbish. How do you pick the good ones from the bad ones in that sense?
Well, I can only speak for myself, but I would pick the good ones by the quality of people producing it. If you've got local knowledge and you've got legitimate, down-to-earth people that want to tell their story, but tell it in in a way that's factual without this theatrical rubbish, they're a winner for me as far as I'm concerned. People don't want that. If people want theatrics, I mean, they can watch theatrics on TV. I mean, people don't want theatrics when they go on a tour. They want to know factual information. They want to know what actually happened, not prefabricated stories just to try and get their ratings, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, look, I do know what you mean, mate. You know, like yourself, I've been involved in the industry in the field now for many years, and you really, as someone within the field and different areas, when you look at something like, and you go along a tour and you got the history and you got the knowledge, and you sort of lose yourself in it, don't you?
You certainly do. I mean, it takes you away to another place. I mean, I think as a child, I've always been fascinated with history. I mean, I'm certainly no historian, and there's some fantastic operators out there who are historians, and they do a wonderful job. I mean, personally myself with HHA, and both Lisa and I, we read a lot as far as history goes, but we certainly rely on external sources to provide us with the right information, like, for instance, with our proposed tours that we've got coming. I mean, because HHA is only a new venture. With our proposed tours and things, we're relying so much on local knowledge and the local staff of where these places, where these tours are supposed to be conducted. We don't want to outsource. We want to use the people that are in that community, bring money into that community. We're not in HHA to make money.
No, definitely.
The money's the furthest thing from us. I mean, Lisa and I are both normal people. I mean, I work a normal job. I work offshore, so I'm away 5 weeks at a time, and to support my family and things like that. So it's not about the money. It's about getting recognition to the people so that these sites can be preserved. And the best way to do that is by using tourism, by bringing people there, showing local knowledge and local history. I mean, that's where it is. There's so much out there. I mean, my recent trip through Tasmania, I mean, I was mind-blown for the whole week that I was there, just travelling around some of the obscure little towns with just so much history there, and they're falling to pieces because there's so much battles between individuals trying to get access there and fighting with National Trust and local heritage, and there needs to be more communication between these establishments too, because what's actually happening is these buildings are not being used to their full potential.
Oh, look, definitely. Now, so when you go in to do this location, you actually research in the information and you get invited to go along, check it out. What's your process? I mean, anything you're doing like that, you got to research the bugger out of it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So say from start, say you're contacted by someone, who has a location that may be considered of historical value as well as a haunted value, if you know what I mean. At the end of the day, that's what most people go and do. They want to go and check out all the spooky stuff.
Absolutely.
When you get to that point, how do you determine that the place, A, has a historical value to it and also has the spooky side of it? Do you actually go and investigate it, or do you actually research to find out who passed away there, like who went and jumped out the window and all that type of thing? How do you guys go about it?
We actually, if we're approached with a location that is supposedly, allegedly haunted, we love that sort of stuff. Obviously, I mean, Historical Haunts Australia. I mean, it says it all. But the first thing we will do is try and find some factual information to substantiate that death, whether there was a death that occurred there. I mean, obviously, if there's little or no evidence to suggest there is a haunting there, and you're only basically going on word of mouth, well, then that doesn't give much credibility. So, and obviously with tourism and things like that, you've got to have credibility, because if people pick your story, pick holes through you, I mean, your product's not going to sell. So, yeah, we certainly use all means that we can to research, like whether it be public records through the police. Sometimes we get some luck through the police. I think everybody in this field has their little contacts here and there.
Oh, they do though. Everyone has their sources from somewhere, mate, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, we certainly don't
right.
put our name to something that's not researched.
Yeah. Now, on that side of it, now what about the spooky side, like the haunting side of it? Do you guys go and investigate it first, or do you get a team to go and investigate it, or do you go off local hearsay? And you know, I mean, this is what it comes down to. It's such a... Look, I know... Sorry, funny story. I know of certain times when... Now, I've gone somewhere and it's about as haunted as my left foot, and you get all this hearsay and rumour when it comes, oh, no, such a Joe Bloggs passed away here, and there's no actual documentation, because like you, I'll research everything. I mean, I'll get my facts first. But how does that work for you guys?
Well, as I said, we actually do paranormal investigations as well. We're actually members of the APS, Australian Paranormal Society, which is based in Melbourne. It's owned and operated by Bill and Amanda Tabone, and they do a fantastic job. We actually met them at Paracon in the start of the year.
Oh, yeah.
In Sydney, and they took us on board, and yeah, we do a lot with them. We also work with Jason and Amanda from Apparitions Technologies, and who are also APS team members as well. And together, these guys back us up as we back them up. They're our team. If we need if we need a site investigated, well, then we're going to call on the APS to help us, and vice versa. If they need us, we're there for them with trying to put together historical briefs and things like that.
Oh, very good, very good. Now, tell us a bit more about this paranormal group, mate, because like you said, you're a member of this group. Go, plug away, if you know what I mean. I mean, that's all part of what we like to do on the show, is that there are so many groups, great groups out there who just slog away at it. And this is what... See, like you said, there's always going to be a bit of competition. There's always going to be a bit of negativity and stuff like that. But, you know, everyone deserves their moment in the sun. You know, everyone deserves their moment to get their details out there, because what doesn't work for one will work for another. So please go ahead.
Dead right. Well, the APS, well, I mean, we love these guys. They're fantastic. I mean, without their support, we wouldn't be where we are at the moment. And I mean, with the APS, they're doing lots of things at the moment as well with their own investigations and things like that as well, with us and on their own. And also they run paranormal workshops. So for individuals who are interested in learning a little bit about the paranormal, I mean, they can contact the APS on their Facebook page, and they're always advertising their product. So the workshops, and I've been on a couple of the workshops myself and participated, and they're well worth value and very good knowledge. Oh,
look, wonderful. I mean, this thing, I mean, it's quite simple today. I mean, I have a normal job and a normal life besides doing the zombie and getting out and about and meeting people, you know, for different events and that. And I actually had one of the guys from work come up today, and he says, oh, Brad, you know, I'd really love to start going on paranormal investigation. I want to learn about it. And I said, well, mate, look, there's so many good groups out there. See, unfortunately, I guess with us, we're it's a radio show. Yeah, the day. Absolutely. I mean, we get out and investigate, but we don't. We get out and we check stuff out, and that's about it. We don't try and bust anything or do any of that sort of stuff. We just go there mainly for just to have a look-see, as it were, see what's more, sort of check out the buildings and the history and stuff like that. So these are a great start for people to actually go along to these workshops, because you can only learn so much from TV.
Absolutely.
And let's be frank about it. A lot of people do learn, and a lot of information is passed through television. It's not always a bad thing, but it's not always a good thing at the same time.
No.
You know, everyone's different. So these workshops, I think, are highly underrated for what they can actually offer. They will sit you down and they will teach you the basics. They will teach you safety. They will teach you what not to do, what to look for, what's contamination of evidence. How do you avoid that?
I mean, things like safety are paramount. I mean, occupational health and safety plays such a big role in our lives today. I mean, these are issues that have got to be addressed within the paranormal too. And to send the right message to kids as well is an important thing too. So you don't have people breaking the law by breaking into sites that they shouldn't be illegally, and putting all of us who do paranormal investigations in disrepute. I mean, it's hard, and everybody that's listening now who's in a paranormal group will back me up on this, saying that it's hard enough as it is to get sites without having people go out there and put our industry in disrepute.
It is hard, and it's not getting any easier, believe it or not.
No.
It is hard to get investigations out there. God, I mean, how many times have you heard? And I've seen it. I've heard about it. And people will carry on like loose Arabs at investigation, and then they do the whole throw themselves on the floor and everyone's possessed by demons every 10 minutes at the moment, which is just driving me driving me mad. Seriously, come on. Okay, classic example. You know your stuff. How many recorded cases of demonic possession has there been ever recorded in a paranormal investigation? A real one.
I can't think of one, to be honest. I mean, anything that I've heard of demonic possession goes back towards the 50s, and I suppose with so much ridicule and backwards they were back then with the church and all that sort of thing. I mean, you'd never know.
I mean, and this is the thing, but this is what we're copying, aren't we, on TV all the time? Every 10 minutes someone's possessed for some reason, or facing not possession, but what's the other word I'm looking for? I saw it the other night. I'm not going to mention the show, but someone was being oppressed by a demon. I mean, well, come on, Christ's sake, I mean, it's not as prevalent.
The thing is, we all read those books too. I mean, I suppose everybody's just about read The Demonologist by Gerald Brittle. Oh,
God, I know what. I think I've got a copy of it here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's all about, Ed and Lorraine Warren. It chronicles their lives within the paranormal, and I suppose pretty much everybody that thinks they know a lot about demonic activity and things like that's pretty much read all those sort of books. I mean, personally myself, it's something I steer well clear of. Mm-hmm. And if we ever came up against anything like that, well, there's a referral system that we have.
There is, and that's the thing for the listeners out there who think they can take something. Trust me, if you come across a true demonic presence, bottle of holy water is going to do jack all for you.
No, that's right.
And saying St. Michael's Prayer and all the rest of it, I'm sorry, unless you actually believe in it wholeheartedly and you follow the faith, as it were. Yes. I mean, the people, in my viewpoint, the ones who are the professionals, are the ones from the clergy, doesn't matter what religion, who spend decades studying this type of thing.
Well, it's not the physical harm that can be done to us, it's the psychological harm.
The mental harm of it.
And the thing is, I mean, for anybody to sit back there and think that they can, with a crucifix and a bottle of holy water, can take on something that's older than time itself, I mean, you're pretty naive. And
we're also talking the lower end side of things too.
Well,
right.
Come
on, you haven't, trust me. And this is what I find fascinating, and it's unfortunate that a lot of shows coming out nowadays, every episode someone's getting possessed, or someone's suffering from obsession, not obsession. You know what I'm trying to say there.
Oppression, possession.
It's all the same. Look, you think by me talking away, I'm a big skeptic. Well, I am in a lot of ways, but I've been in the field long enough to know that you have to be a bit of a skeptic.
Well, you've got to. I mean, you can't sit there and say that everything that crosses your path is paranormal. You've got to look for an answer. I mean, that's what your whole purpose is there. I mean, is to find the answers, and you've really got to try and debunk everything until you get to a conclusion where you just have you're beyond reasonable doubt that what you're dealing with there is paranormal.
Oh, look, dead set true, mate. Now, just on that, so why don't we start looking in actually the whole, give us the group details and stuff like that, and where can people contact you, and also the Historical Haunts Australia. Let's talk about that. Give us the details so people can actually look for yous up online, check yous out, and contact yous if they need to. Yes.
Well, we're on Facebook at the moment. We're in the process of having we're supposed to have our website up running this week, but with web developers being the way they are, it's taking a bit of time.
Yes, that's why I do it myself.
So it's supposed to be up and running this week, but you can find us on Facebook, Historical Haunts Australia. you come and like us. If you've got any questions or anything like that, feel free to message us. Our contact details are there. If you need us, if you're ever in need of a paranormal investigator, well, myself and the APS, so more than willing to help you out.
And also,
and if we can't, we've got plenty of referrals that can.
And just so people know, I know where you are, but whereabouts are you located?
We're based in Melbourne.
Yep.
And yes, but feel free. Anybody in Australia can contact us. We have contacts. We network all over Australia. We're as I said, I mean, Paracon Australia is the Oz Paracon's the greatest thing that ever happened. I mean, mate, we wouldn't have even met half the groups that we know now that if we hadn't have gone to Paracon. And so basically, we pretty much know a lot of groups all over Australia and can refer you if need be.
Oh, and that's right. And you can do that, folks. You can go and check out on Facebook, Historic Haunts Australia, and check out the group they're attached to with the paranormal side of investigating. I think that's very, very, very important. Now, we're going to have a quick music break right now because I'm going to do a big plug time, and then we're going to come straight back to you after the show. We're going to come back and talk to Jason regarding spookiest crap you can imagine that's happened in Australia. Now, sure you've got a few good stories for us out there, mate, haven't you?
I think we can come up with something.
I think you can rustle something up, mate. Come on, Australia's a pretty cool damn country when it comes to spooky shit going on. We all know that. So, hey, it's my show. I swear like a trooper, but not too bad. And yes, I have a fantastic band for you now, all the way from Brisbane here, called the Zombie Apocalypse Theory. You can buy their album by visiting iTunes, or if you see them in concert, they are friggin' awesome. The pandemic begins with their first song off the album, Throne. And that was The Pandemic Begins from the Zombie Apocalypse series. You're about to hear their music actually on Naked Zombie Radio. Check them out. Visit them on the Facebook fan site. These guys are friggin' awesome rock stars, and I love to be a part of them and having their music on my program. And we are joined by Jason Walker from Historic Haunts Australia. And we're going to now delve into all the spooky crap, man. You got spooky crap for me, I hope. We want some stories that people are going to go to bed tonight and sleep with one eye open, just checking their bedroom door. That's what I want. Can you give us some fantastic stories, please?
Oh, goodness me. I suppose there's some stories out there. I mean, I think the scariest thing that ever happened to me was basically when I was a child. We used to live in an old farmhouse, and I used to be particularly scared of this particular room, and it used to be associated with a dream that I used to have. That, in short, what used to happen to me is I would be in that state before you go into REM.
Yep.
Just like half awake, half asleep, sort of thing. And I'd have this horrible urge to scream. It was like something was sitting on my chest.
Yep.
And I would scream, and something would come in, grab me, drag me out into the hallway, and roll me up in the carpet. As stupid as it might sound, that's exactly what happened. And then I would wake up back in the bed, and I would repeat the whole thing again.
So how long did this go on for?
This went on for quite some years, and it progressed to walking to actually dreaming that I was walking in a park, and there's long grass that was the same colour as the carpet that I used to get rolled up in, and you would walk along, and there would be a trapdoor on the ground. I would open up the trapdoor and walk in, and I'd go down the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs was this picture.
Yep.
And this picture was covered with like a sheet.
Yep.
And there was a lot of other like antique sort of things in there, all covered up as well. But what would happen is I would pull the sheet off this actual picture.
Yep.
And scream. There was something so horrific about that particular picture.
Yep.
That I would scream and wake up back in my bed.
Wow.
But what happened after that was in the lounge room. One morning we were getting ready for school.
Yep.
And we were sitting at the kitchen table in the lounge room area. It's like a lounge room sort of kitchen sort of thing. And this picture that was on the wall, for some reason I used to like really, really fear. It was just really, really creepy sort of picture.
Yeah.
It just flew off. It just came straight off the wall and crashed straight onto the ground. And I'll tell you what, I was terrified. That was just something that really, really stuck with my mind for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things that kind of got me interested in the paranormal was what's the link between that picture and my dreams.
Oh. So did you find this actually affected you like emotionally as well? I mean, this is where people don't realise, even you go into that dream state and it seems so real, did you find yourself like, you know, this is not a bad thing, but did you find it affected you emotionally afterwards for a little while?
Oh, I was a wreck for a long, long time. I mean, it was like it's really, really oppressive. It was, I just didn't want to go into that room, and I suppose I had a lot of problems with my parents trying to convince me that no, there's nothing wrong, just go back in that room.
Yeah.
But there was just something odd about that room in the house, and I don't know what it was, but it was real to me, and I know deep in my heart that there's something really wrong with that room, and there's still to this day something really wrong with that house.
So are you still attached to that house in any way, or is it...
Not anymore, no, but I've driven past it before, and it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. So, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I'm a skeptic too when it comes to trying to put things together. I need substantial evidence before I draw a conclusion, but that just creeped me out. I mean, and I'm a big bloke, and I don't scare easy, but that certainly did it.
Oh, mate. Definitely, absolutely, definitely. Look, and that's the whole thing behind it. And this is where the show comes into its own, where people will tell their stories. And some will say, but there's a lot of more people out there who go, crap, I had the same experience. I'm not losing my mind, and this is what people don't realise. The more you talk about it with others within the field and with your experiences, you're going to open up to more people knowing you, if you know what I mean, and knowing what you went through and what they went through.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of communication I think we're still sadly missing out in Australia. And, Australia being our country where the show's from and stuff like that, you'd like to think that we as a whole would just bury the hatchet, so to speak, and actually take some time to listen to each other's stories and go, wow, I had the same experience. I mean, I talk about this regularly, and it still frustrates me to this day that, all you people out there who listen to the show and all the groups out there who follow us and stuff like that, you all offer something so much to everybody. Isn't that right, mate?
It certainly is. Everybody's got their valid points, and if we could all get past our differences, and kind of work together in a way, a bit of collaboration. I think we'd go a long way in the paranormal field. But because there's so many egos and everybody bitching and arguing and carrying on, it's just ridiculous. And until that stops, I don't think we're going to progress any further until we can really nip that in the butt.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, back to this creepy-ass stories, man. This is what we're here for. Listen to the show tonight is the creepy-ass stuff. Now, is there any certain locations around Australia, mate, that you know about that has some horrific history to it that's just led to the most weirdest, bizarrest paranormal event?
There's quite a few sites around. For obvious reasons, we keep a lot of our HHA sites, pretty quiet.
Of course.
But because a lot of the people that we visit don't really want their site to be. It's not that we're trying to hold it from other groups. It's that people don't want their details given out. So I think one of the most horrific sites that I find, and it spooks me out to this and creeps me right out, is Arrowdale Asylum in Ararat.
Yeah.
There's absolutely thousands of deaths that occurred there, and it is the atmosphere there is just unbelievable. It just if you knew nothing about the history there, you would pick up. The energy there alone is just horrific. The abuse and the neglect, the complete despair, and the restless souls that still walk Arrowdale.
So what else does Arrowdale have to offer?
Well, Arrowdale, you can actually do tours there. There's you can get in contact with the tour company that do that. They're Airy Tours. They pretty much you can find them online. Yep. They run quite a good tour there, and Nathaniel, the guy that runs the tour there, is brilliant. He's really good on his history. He's a historian, so he's just fantastic. He pretty much knows everything there is to know about Arrowdale, and really puts together a good gig for people to go and see.
Oh, look, that's definitely the case, isn't it? So, well, mate, we are just screaming along here. We've got about another 10, 15 minutes to go tonight. It goes quick, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
I'm going to have to start doing a longer show, I think, if I've got some time. And that's the unfortunate thing. I always seem to run out of time. I've got so much on the moment. Oh, look, before we go much further, just a big thank you to the organisers of the Brisbane Zombie Walk for having us there. It was an amazing event. It was for an amazing cause. The people, the costumes were just brilliant. Everyone was so well behaved and everyone was having a ball. So thank you to everyone who participated, come up and said g'day to us and got their photos taken with it, which I thought was a bit odd. Seriously.
I saw those.
I felt out of place a little bit at times. But it was wonderful for me to always saw that everyone, the Brisbane Zombie Walk, and yeah, looking forward to 2013. And of course, don't forget, folks, if you want the Naked Zombie Boys or team, whatever you want to call us, out at your next event, if you go to the website, which you're listening to this via, and just check it out, go to the contacts page and put through a request for date and time and whereabouts, and we'll take it from there, because we're more than happy to, we lend our time for free, and but if it's like very far away out of Brisbane, you guys have got to foot the bill for flights. Combination, because we don't make any coin out of this. We do it all for love. Now, back to what you were saying, old mate. And before I go any further, I promise this. Big shout out to our sponsors as well and supporters, which is Geek Speak. You have Dark Cell Productions. You have Brisbane Photo Booth. And, of course, the fantastic band themselves, the Zombie Apocalypse Theory. So please check them out. Jump into the sponsors and supporters page. And if you wish to be a supporter or sponsor of the Naked Zombie Radio, go ahead, leave your contact details, and we'll talk further from there. And I'm so sorry I had to cut you off, mate, but unfortunately I have to do these things occasionally.
You're right, mate.
You get it. I got to also throw it in because I did promise, and so I thought I'd better. Excuse me. All right. So what other stories you got for us, mate? I'm looking forward to them.
Oh, stories! Goodness me, I don't have too many stories. I've mainly the personal ones that happened when I was a child. I suppose that's pretty much it.
That's fine. But what we can go into is tell us some of the organisations around the country that do tours, then, and who would you recommend tour wise?
Well, I'd recommend Historical Haunts Australia.
I would recommend Historical Haunts of Australia too, I think, and you can visit them on their Facebook site, and the website's coming up soon. Check them out. Where else, mate?
Yeah, you've also got Lantern Tours in they're in Williamstown. They do quite some good in Victoria. They do some great ones, and you've got Erie Tours in Melbourne as well, who also do the Geelong Jail and Arrowdale, and also Beechworth Asylum.
And don't forget Moonlight Tours.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't forget just happens to be the best Brisbane tour I know about anyway. It's awesome because I've been a couple of times. So people can just jump on. If you listen to this, you can jump. If you want to go on a tour around Australia, you can also contact Jason in the certain areas, and he can give you locations of good tours that offer real history and all the rest of it as well. Isn't that right, mate?
Absolutely. Feel free to drop us an email. Drop us an email, or perhaps just jump on Facebook and leave us a message, and we'll get back to you promptly.
And that's right. And it's easy as that, folks out there. Listen to the show. Listen to the Naked Zombie. You can contact Jason, Historic Haunts Australia, and he can give you all the details that you need regarding cool locations.
Can I also give a sing out for, we've got Oz HorrorCon happening on the 27th of October at the Royal Melbourne Hotel.
Yes,
the APS, Australian Paranormal Society, and Historical Haunts Australia and Apparitions Technologies are going to be there, so feel free to come down and pay us a visit and get horrified.
Yes, I've totally forgot about. I didn't mean to forget. I just get so tied up doing the interview and that I should start taking notes and writing down the stuff I've got to mention. Also, of course, you'll see us in January there. January?
Yes. Yeah,
January. Yep. We'll be there in January as well for that. So we're heading on that one way to have a bit meet and greet with everybody. So check out HorrorCon. It's the first one, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's going to be a great thing. I mean, Steve Dillon, the organiser, has been working really, really hard.
Oh, hasn't he? What?
Put together a fantastic, event. So.
And he's very prolific with his postings too. I mean, that's the thing. He keeps everyone up to date. So, Steve, if you listen to the show, mate, a big shout out to you because I know how hard you've been working to get Oz HorrorCon going. And it hasn't been an easy task, so please show your support. Get on, try and check them out as well because they are really busting their guts at the moment to produce a fantastic event, and the January one is going to be massive by all accounts.
It's going to be huge.
It's
Absolutely
going to be bigger
huge.
than Ben-Hur.
Some top names going to be there, so anybody who's keen on the horror, the horror scene has got to be there.
Yeah, and I mean they've got this one guy, Brad Scott, showing up judging some event, I think too. I don't know. That's a rumor I heard. I hope I didn't give too much away. They're going to have cosplay, aren't they? They're going to have costumes there. They're going to have all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah. So yes, definitely, it's in October. When is it? It's only like next weekend, isn't it?
It's on Saturday the 27th, next Saturday.
And mate, look, that's absolutely fantastic, mate. We've about come to the end of the Tonight Show, and I just cannot thank you enough for spending the time to talk to us tonight on the Zombie.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much for having us on, and it's great that we have radio independent radio and radio out there that are actually keen and interested to see what we do, and yeah, we love it. It's great to get support from people.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, folks, out there, if you listen to the show, if you're a group or a person or an organisation that has something cool, doesn't matter. We deal everything from pop culture to the paranormal and everything in between. If you've got a book, story, anything you want to tell us, you can go to the website and contact us by the contacts page and leave us your details, and we will be in touch, and we will interview you no matter where in the world. That's the beautiful thing of the web. Isn't it great? All right. Listen, well, thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight, and thank you again, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Not a problem anytime. It was great. Thank you very much.
No, I'll just get you hanging on the line there for a minute. And I always talk to my guests after the show. And thank you for everyone to listening on the Naked Zombie. Don't forget to check out our supporters and sponsors, and also the fantastic band that I'll be playing regularly on the Naked Zombie, which is a zombie apocalypse theory, with a new album out called The Pandemic Begins. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Have a safe night. I'm Brad Scott, and you have been listening to the best of all awesomeness, which is the awesome of the Naked Zombie, which I'm just crapping on now. Have a good night, and we'll see you all next time.